Hey everybody, it's Roland Royal, your heavy equipment mechanic. We're here today to work on an H80FT. It's a U005 classification in the serial number. They said that it has a check engine light on. I already scanned the code and we have a code for an EGR valve. So we're going to do a little diagnosis, see what we come up with. It's a Kubota 3.8 diesel engine. It's got no DEF, but it does have a DPF. So it runs a DPF with a converter. So anyway, let's get to diagnosing our EGR valve. And it's really important to have that EGR valve going if we have a code. Typically you're not going to regen with the EGR code. So going to do a little diagnosis. Let's get going. Here's our monster here. We got our turbo diesel H80FT. Kind of got things set up a little bit for us here. If you look here, you can see we got ambient air code, engine inlet. Both those are active because I have them unplugged over here right at the moment with the air filter off. The one we're after is right here. It's not active right now because it's not running, but we have a 523578 FMI2, which is EGR valve CAN communication data erratic or intermittent. So that's on our EGR line. So basically here's our EGR valve right here. Exhaust gas recirculator. What that does, when they put that on there for, is once the combustion chambers reach, I don't know, somewhere around 1700 degrees, they start to produce NOx, which is nitrates of oxygen, which is bad for our emissions and our air quality. So what they do is they reintroduce inert exhaust gas into this valve, and the valve opens right here and it lets it go into the intake manifold, and it puts it into the cylinders basically as an inert gas to cool the cylinder. Yeah, the exhaust gas is hot, but it's a lot cooler than 1700 degrees in the cylinder, and the gas being inert, which means it won't combust, it doesn't give more oxygen to the cylinder or any more fuel to the cylinder to combust, to give it more heat. So that's what the EGR valve does. Ours runs on the CAN system. Here's our CAN wires, yellow and green, power 12 volts, ground, battery ground. On this CAN system, it is a basically self-sustained CAN system, and by that I mean it is the only thing on that CAN line that goes to the ECM. The only other thing is this port right here that has the terminating resistor, which is going to be about 60 ohms. That's going to be part of our diagnostic. So what we're going to do is diagnose this circuit. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to pull our, it doesn't matter where, either here or down here, you can pull the resistor out. You got a plug here. First thing I'm going to do is check our CAN line. So we should have, if we check it up here on this, pull this out, check the green and yellow wire together with the key off, we should have around 60 ohms of resistance for this terminator here. This is the only terminator, like I said, on this CAN line for the EGR valve. It's a standalone CAN system. So I'm going to check up here across these two. I should have resistance, and then I should have roughly 2.5 volts on both green and yellow wires, and that is our high and low. They say 2.2 and 2.3 or whatever to add up to 5 volts. it's never really the same, to be honest with you. You're going to get, sometimes they're even real close to even. So basically what you want to see is a voltage around 2.25 or somewhere around there, 2.3 on each of those. And I will test them using our battery ground here. That way I know that I'm good in the circuit. Like I said, the first thing I did, hook up my computer. I have active codes just because I have my sensor unplugged here. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. Let me get set up here and we'll start doing some diagnostic. Alright, so hopefully this works for everyone. First thing we're going to do is check our voltage on our lines here. Actually, you know what? We'll just check the resistance real quick. That kind of gives us a quick overall view. So I'm going to turn the key off. I'm going to set my meter here on 200 ohms. I don't need 2000. I should only be in the 61 range or so. So I'm going to go in my yellow here and then get my other lead, go to my black, and I have nothing, no resistance at all. Open, give them a test. Yep, we're working. And give them another, nothing. So that's not good. So we have no continuity between our can lines. So the next thing we're going to do is turn the truck on. We're going to take this to voltage, go to 20 volts because 2.5 is higher than 2, obviously. We're going to go in here, switch this guy over to our battery ground for this test. Okay, we're in the yellow wire, battery ground. Alright, we have 2.53 volts, so we're good there. And now basically let's just pull this guy out, go in our green wire. So our green can, we're going to go back to negative, and nothing. So that tells me that we have an issue on our green wire somewhere. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take those out, so we know we have our yellow wire is good. We have no continuity on our ohms, so there's no continuity on our can line up here. We have voltage on our yellow wire, no voltage on our green wire. So what we're gonna do, excuse me. Alright, so what we got, we know we don't have it up here on our green wire. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go down here to where our terminating resistor goes in. I'm gonna keep that guy plugged in, and I'm gonna back probe on my yellow and green wires here. So we're gonna go in there with this one, and we're gonna go in there with this one. Get those set in there to the pins. We're gonna turn our back to resistance on the 200 scale, and then we're gonna put them in. Ooh, bingo. That's a lot of resistance, but we do have resistance here. Okay, is the key on? Yes, the key is on. So let's try this again. You saw we're about 180 with the key on. Turn the key off. There we go. About 60 ohms of resistance. That's what we want to see. So what we have is, we know we have resistance here at our terminating resistor on the can line for the EGR. So this tells me somewhere between this terminating resistor and our EGR valve in the loom we must have an open, and I'm saying it's in the green wire because we didn't have any power up there. What we're going to do now is do a quick check, make sure, take this resistor out. Okay, we got him out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here on our green wire, put him in there. I'm going to come up here to my EGR valve, and I'm going to find my green wire, and I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to keep my resistance on my 200 scale, and bing, I'm open. I have no continuity. So let's go to my yellow wire here on my EGR plug, and we're going to go to my yellow wire here on the terminating resistor down here. Yellow wire, got our lead in. Now we're going to check it, and bingo, we got 1.2 ohm, 1.1 ohms of resistance on our yellow wire from EGR connector to here. So that tells us that we have an open in our green wire somewhere between here and here. So now what we have to do, I'm going to turn off all this fancy stuff since we know where we're at now, and we're going to get dirty, and we're going to pull that loom apart, and we're going to find where it's open. Our terminating resistor back in here. Get our computer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear everything once I got them off. Oops. Turn the key on. Successful. Clear it again since we... Okay. Clear active faults. Okay. So everything's clear. I'm going to turn it back off. It popped up active because we have these things unplugged, so we're going to have an active code. So basically I just want to get the computer off here. I'm going to shut down my service tool real quick, close out my computer, and then we're gonna look for a break. Alright, so I gotta be somewhere in here. Pull this guy off. I'd already started on the loom this side earlier looking for something, so I'll come over here. We can come down here and kind of see our, take that tape. Cut our wires. Just get a wire cutter here so we can get this tape. That out of there. We got a rub mark right here where that hold down was, so we're gonna have to inspect it really close right there. Pop this hold down open right here. We don't really need to, but yeah, give us a little bit more play here. Don't really need to, but we'll do it anyway. Okay. peel this tape back. Right here at this spot. I'm gonna cut this off. Crazy here, but is that it? Right, George, that looks like it. I don't have my glasses on. Guy right there, you know, it's just split right in two right there. Got a little dig right there too on our yellow wire. So, but look at how that loom, this loom here, has dug into that and caused that. All right, so we're gonna make a repair and we should be all right. And just take one wind out of each side. All right. What we're gonna do is get this guy fixed. Take our strip off a little bit here. Okay, I'm gonna take just a little piece of this. We got a good solid connection. I'm gonna slide that heat shrink up over the ends there, like that. Get this guy out of the way. Really, we'll try to keep any moisture from getting in that connection to keep any corrosion from building up on that can line. So there you go, there's our fix. Got that green wire. I'm going to use some of this little loom, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to loom this can wire and probably this can wire just with some short small loom right in this area to keep it from digging in when I put that larger loom on again. Hopefully this smaller stuff will help kind of protect it. So I'm going to get that done, and I'll show you kind of what that looks like on one of them here, and then I'll button everything up and come back and show you what we got. So I'm going to cut one off about the size I'm going to need. I'm going to take this inner one here. Kind of bend it, press it into that. Okay, so basically that's kind of what it's going to look like. I'm going to have a loom inside of a loom with the can lines just to kind of keep them protected. They're going to go into here and then come down here into the computers. So I'm going to get this all wrapped up. We'll go back in and get the service tool cleared and make sure everything's going good on the EGR valve. But I have a real good feeling that we did find the problem, got it fixed, and we're going to be up and running on the EGR valve again. So on this 3/8 Kubota, this is a big problem, wiring harness issues, because this loom, as I showed you, wears holes straight through the harness. Happens a lot in this area, the fan area, and then sometimes on the back side here where it goes down, but mostly up in this area right here you're gonna have issues. So there you go, we didn't have to replace the part, didn't have to come and guess and say the part was bad and put it on and then not fix it. So this is gonna fix the problem, we're gonna loom it back up, and we're gonna get on our way.